Yo, what it do, YouTube? It is your boy ColtsTalk. We're back with another video, and today is the first official video of the year. The NFL season is here. I know you guys are excited. I'm super excited. But we are here to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to be a game to go down in history. This is the debut of Anthony Richardson against Trevor Lawrence for the first time, which can be a very long, interesting rivalry going in towards their careers. This could be a changing of the guards. Who knows? Can Jacksonville continue to destroy the division? Can the Tennessee Titans eventually figure it out? Can the Colts figure it out and make a historic run in the rookie year of Anthony Richardson? All of these things are questions we can ask moving forward, but we all have no doubts we can predict wherever we want because it is a fresh slate for all 32 NFL teams. We can say whatever we want. We can predict the Super Bowls right now. We don't know what the future may hold. So we are all open to every idea. But before we get into it, we want to let you know to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, like this video, comment as well your predictions of this game, subscribe as well. All of that is appreciated. Moving forward, let's hop into this game. Per injury reports, as of Wednesday, both teams are missing two players. One player, well, not missing, but two players are on the injury report list. For the Colts, it is Shaquille Leonard and Zach Moss. Zach Moss, of course, had a broken arm, but he was limited in practice. Shaquille Leonard in concussion protocol, which is fine. And for the Jaguars, there was Antonio Johnson and an edge rusher, a defensive tackle, I believe. But you know, both of these teams are pretty much fresh going into week one. So this is pretty much going to be a healthy game for both teams. It's pretty well. That's the direction it's looking forward to. Of course, the Colts won't have Jonathan Taylor, but we all know that situation already. And to be honest, like I said, I don't think we need Jonathan Taylor. It'll be nice to him to be on the roster and active and playing, but the show must go on. So we'll go on without it. But like I said, for this team and this history, especially in week one with the Colts and Jaguars, it's never been in the Colts' favor, especially if we were in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I don't know what it is, but the Colts just have the worst luck there. It doesn't matter what quarterback the Colts have. It could be a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer, or just a backup, or a former starter of another NFL team. The Colts just have the worst of luck. A lot of people can blame the referees, poor play, poor coaching, whatever you want. But when you're in Jacksonville, it is very hard to play the Jacksonville Jaguars if you're the Indianapolis Colts. Now, of course, that's not the situation of this year as of right now for week one, but I'm just saying the pure history if we're going off Jacksonville versus Colts in week one, especially the Colts on the road. But this is a different outlook and a different approach this year. So I'm expecting to be a little bit different, especially when you look at last year's Jacksonville Jaguars team. Their year was pretty much a roller coaster. They did make the playoffs, which was very impressive. But there was a roller coaster. They didn't have a lot of games where they just went out there and says, "Oh, the Jaguars are it." They had a lot of close games. Of course, they had a 40-19 game, a 40-point game for the Jaguars, which was one game. But all the other games were pretty much nail biters. They came back in fourth in the clutch time. They were pretty clutch last year, I would say that. But there was games when they should have won and then just flat out lost. And it is what it is. It just happens to be that way. It's nothing towards them. It's just the nature of the team last year. This year, they're getting a number one wide receiver back in Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was off due to, gambling allegations, or to the gambling suspension, I would say. He was gone for a few years. He's back. He looks fresh. He looks faster, and he looks a little bit leaner. So it's going to be interesting to watch Ridley and Trevor Lawrence duo moving forward. It's something that the Colts fans are like, oh gosh, here he goes, another one. But in my sense, I think since it's the beginning of the year, and you're playing this team last year, they did pretty well. I would say Trevor Lawrence is starting to step into his own, step into his progression, starting to take that next step into being an elite quarterback. I can still say they can have a rough start. Any team can go out there and have a rough start. It could be the Colts. It could be the Jaguars. So I'm not opposed in predicting the Colts to win this game because anything's possible. They are getting that first look at Anthony Richardson. This is Anthony Richardson's first game as the Indianapolis Colts in the NFL season. Fresh start, first year, rookie season. The history with rookie quarterbacks in Indianapolis hasn't been great. the rookie seasons for each franchise quarterback that they had, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, if you want to go back that far, Anthony Richardson, it could be predicted for him to have a rough rookie year. And it tends to be that way because he still has to develop into this talent that we want him to be. And he has the potential to do that. But it's going to take a while, especially when you look at this Indianapolis Colts team. This offensive line is definitely very suspect. I think they're going to be on the redemption time this year. I think this offensive line is definitely going to redeem themselves this year. They have shown signs of progression this preseason. When you've seen them out there, the starters out there with Anthony Richardson, you notice that the mobility and the accuracy and the arm strength and the talent that Anthony Richardson has pretty much shadows or pretty much hides the faults of the offensive line. And I think that can be something that could really be interesting moving forward into this year. Can his mobility and his amazing talent hide the struggles of the offensive line for the Indianapolis Colts? And I think so that can happen. Now, what better test can that be other than the Jacksonville Jaguars in week one? In week one, we know how good the Jaguars' defensive line and edge rush and pass rush can be. And that's going to be the ultimate test to let Anthony Richardson know this is the big league. You got to go out there and swim. If you want to be out here in this water, you got to go out there and swim. So this is the ultimate test. He said he's already mentally focused. And, he said the unpreparedness for the week. And, he was in the presser just as confident as he wants to be. And this guy isn't no slouch, man. This is a big, tall athlete, man. He can move out of that pocket and up the field. We've seen the glimpses in the preseason. He pretty much has the talent to go out there and do so. And I have the faith in him to do that. But other than the offensive line worries for the Indianapolis Colts, you have to go into the wide receiver department. The wide receiver department is a little shaky. Of course, we have the talent that can go out there. We have true wide receivers. But the problem of the history of the wide receivers for the Indianapolis Colts was catching the football. The catching the football was something that the Colts has been fighting for years. The receivers just seems to drop the ball. But other than that, I think Alec Pierce has potential to step up this year. I think Michael Pittman Jr., knowing that this is his contract season, I think he's going to have a huge season. When you look at the tight end room, I think the tight end room has potential. Of course, we have some banged up players, especially in our Jelani Woods. A lot of fans of Jelani Woods. He's banged up right now. But we still have a good tight end room, especially a guy like Kylan Granson who can step up very big this game. This is going to be a very important game. This is going to be the first 5 to 6 weeks, you're going to get the true potential of what the Colts can be moving forward. We can't go out there and cancel them out after one game, and we can't go out there and predict things after one game as well. And I think this is going to be a very good evaluation season for the Indianapolis Colts. This is the ultimate test, week one against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can they break the curse? Can they break the week one curse? Can Anthony Richardson do all of these things against a rival in week one? This is very interesting, but I do predict the Colts to win this game. I think this is going to be a very good, close game. It's not going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. So I'm predicting something on the verge of 24-17. Am I predicting the Colts to put up 24 points? Absolutely. I think the inaccuracy, I will say, of Anthony Richardson or his high balls, the balls that just aren't in the range. I think he's going to have a few of those. He might get an interception thrown this game. But I think all of those aren't going to outweigh what the offense could do because it does have potential. We have the receiving backs. We have running backs that can pretty much find the gaps. We have receivers that can get open. We have tight ends. We have an offense that can at least move the chains. And I think the way our defense plays, especially from last year, I think our defense is pretty good to tame the Jacksonville Jaguars in week one. They do have a history of getting at Trevor Lawrence. There's pressures. We got a young group this year and the elite talent. And I think this might be one of the best pass rushers, the best pass rushing, I would say, defensive lines we've seen in a minute for the Indianapolis Colts this year because they're very athletic. This whole team, the whole defense is very athletic, especially with a guy in their leader like Shaquille Leonard coming back, who's very vocal, and the captain of that defense with the Zaire Franklin and the EJ Speed. I think, and our young corners, they're going to be tested for sure. This is going to be a good test for the corners, the young corners for the Indianapolis Colts. But I think all of these things, I think it's going to be enough to push the Colts over the edge to win week one. It's a long shot, but I'm willing to take that risk and vow for the Colts to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in week one. I can say something like 24-17 or 17-14, 17-13, something like that. I think it could be a 7-point victory for sure. Don't know how many points it could be. 24 is a little high, but I'm going to go with that just to be safe. But I do predict the Colts to win this game. The Jaguars are no slouch at all. I just think with chemistry wise and, it being a new season, it can be an upset. It definitely can be. I'm not knocking the Jaguars are winning this game, but I can definitely see an upset in the Colts winning this game because the Jaguars can be cut off guard. It's very easily to happen. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I cannot wait for this game. I know you can't wait, but the football season is finally here. You guys tune in, stay tuned. We got more videos dropping. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.